Okay, so and then just bear with me while I'm toggling between screens here. So Courtney and Kim, just let me know what you need and I will get that shared for you.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to start it off by saying that one of the reasons why we're doing this training is that the ISP system and software has sort of changed to what's called the Ohio ISP. So ISPs are going to look different now, and the Ohio ISP is a statewide ISP system. So eventually, no matter what county that you work in, it's going to be that every county has the same ISP format. But it does make it a little different in terms of when you're a provider, where it is to go look for the information that you're supposed to put on your doc sheets. So that's really why we wanted to go over this, is to help you find the sections and the material that you're going to need to look at when you have a new client and you're setting up their doc sheets. So, Nicole, did you want to maybe put up the documentation tip sheet on the screen? If you don't have it, it's okay. Hopefully you all can see this. Health and safety risks, which are really important, are now found in the section that says known and likely risks. That's the heading that they're under. Achievement outcomes, which we used to call goals, can be found in the section that's called outcomes and experiences of the new Ohio ISP. Things like doctor's appointments, or if person needs assistance with shopping and you need to take them. To look for those, you find them in the service and supports section of the new format. When it comes to the support outcomes section, you might be able to lump a couple of items together. As an example, instead of writing separately assistance with brushing hair and assistance with brushing teeth, instead of writing those separately on a doc sheet, you could just write assistance with hygiene tasks, because that covers both those things, and it's just one line on a doc sheet. So some things to remember is it's always best to complete your documentation at the end of every shift that you work with the individual. And then if you need to send your documentation anywhere, always remember to send copies. Keep your own originals, because surveyors will want to see originals. And then the last tip is, it's a good rule of thumb to keep your documentation for 7 years, because Medicaid does have the right to look back. And I think they will tell you that it's pretty much 6 years, but we just go ahead and suggest that people keep their documentation for 7, just in case. It's a good rule of thumb. And then, Kim, did
Yes.
you want to?
Yes. Now we're going to go over a sample of a Ohio ISP that it's a real ISP, but we redacted the names in it. So we're going to go over, so I can show you the sections compared to what the gatekeeper ISPs look like. So basically the first page is the person's name, the funding that they have, the funding source, if it's a redetermination or if it's a revision or an initial. Okay, initial means this is the first time they have an ISP. Redetermination is the next year. Revision, you guys made some changes. The team made some changes in the ISP. The meeting minutes, then you have the span dates. All right, Nicole, the next page. Meeting minutes continued. All right, page 1, just this information, the next so many pages are just information on the individual. These come from an assessment that is completed, and then it populates in the ISP. Talks about how does the person communicate, how does the person ask for help, what does the person want or need, what are their strengths, their accomplishments. So this is just information all about the individual. So that goes through for the next several pages. Page 7, because some people, go ahead, Nicole, 7. Okay. A lot of individuals ask about doctors and doctors and diagnoses and whatnot. It should be here around page 7, healthy living, medical and dental care. So all that information would used to be on like page 3 in the gatekeeper ISP. Now it's on page 7, 6, and 7 in healthy living. So you can find all that information, whether they can self-administer their own medications or not. Do they need help with doctor's appointments? What are some of what's their diagnoses, things like that. That's where you'll find this information. Nutrition, do they have dietary needs? Do their food need cut up? Things like that. So that's under also page within the healthy living pages 6, 7, 8, depends on how much the SSA types in there. So we're going to go to Nicole, if we can go to page on this one, page 12. Okay, page 12, the known and likely risks. They used to be considered in gatekeeper called support outcomes. Okay, they would just be throughout the ISP on different pages. All the support outcomes now under known and likely risks. Now this individual here has 24/7 services. I should have probably used a easier ISP, but we're just going to go over some of it. So like for instance, to the right, it says who's responsible. It'll tell you, is it the day program? Is it the HPC services? It's whoever's responsible for this known and likely risk. Those support outcomes need to be on your documentation sheets. For instance, if you go to community living for consumer support services, J&D's physician ordered diet and portion guidelines will be followed with assistance from a provider, encouraged to complete physical activities. So the guidelines need to be put on your documentation sheet, which I'm going to show you a sample of the documentation sheet. So it should say follow diet orders and guidelines as daily as needed, or 3 times a week if that's how many times you work with the individual or whatnot, but you have to do your frequency and duration. So this is where you're going to find those support outcomes again that need to go onto your documentation sheet. Also down below, J&D will receive assistance with refined motor skills. So on the documentation sheet, plus there's physical therapy, I put exercise, fine motor and physical per PT recommendations daily as needed. So these are things that you're going to document, and this is where you're going to find those old support outcomes. These are their likely risks and things that they need services and help with. Nicole, can you go to the next page? All right. She also needs assistance with drying her hair and brushing her teeth and her hearing aid, cleaning it. You can just take those and lump it and put under with her hygiene, maintain her hygiene or assistance with hygiene. Okay. Again, this person has 24/7, so not everybody's is going to look as detailed as this. Let's see, J&D receives assistance from a provider in planning and preparing the night before for breakfast, lunch, and snacks for the following day. Again, that could be plan and prepare meals or assistance with meal prep. So that will need to be on your doc sheets. I'm not going to go through every single one of these. I just wanted you to know under the known and likely risk section, if it has who is responsible is you need to pull those and put them on your documentation sheets. Next page, Nicole, let me see what else. Okay, some of these are work ones. For instance, she'll be encouraged to maintain appropriate posture while sitting to perform her physical therapy exercises. That would be on their doc sheets. Next, Nicole. All right. Support outcome financial exploitation. So you take these and you put them on your documentation sheets. J&D's provider also assists her with budgeting her money and is kept in a labeled pouch. So you would put under, you can just put assist with money and budgeting. You don't have to put every specific thing in there, but just break it down to assistance with budgeting, money. and probably keep a ledger. All right. So that's all about her money. Okay, ledgers of all transactions. Okay. So this one, the provider would have to keep a ledger of her funds also. So you have to show a ledger, money in, money taken out of her spending money or whatever money it is that the provider is in charge of. Any questions so far? I do talk fast, but I will get to the documentation sheets that I typed up for these. Don't, it's coming. Next page, Nicole. Okay, this support outcome is again for home. Jane D wants to remain safe at home during emergency events so that she can be more independent. So practice safety drills, talk about emergency events. So under this one, I put, oh, what I put, let me change the page. That would be assist with, I would just put assist with emergency events or safety emergency events. Okay, next one, Nicole, I want to go to page, I don't think we need to go over the support outcomes anymore. I think that's understood. Just basically where your name's at as the provider, that's what the information you need to put on the doc sheets. So now we need to go to, this person has way too many support outcomes because she is 24/7. So, can we go to page 20? Okay, page 20, outcomes and experiences. You guys are used to the achievement outcomes, or they would call goals. This is not where you would find the achievement outcome if you are the provider of having to do one. Okay. This one is for, this one's for her work, her day program. It says who is responsible, Windfall Industries. So if it says who is responsible and your name's there, you're responsible for that achievement outcome, which is on a different form. This is a something the individual wants to achieve. She wants to communicate her needs, her wants, her concerns with any available staff, or will follow instructions from any staff on average of 85% of the day. We're trying to get her to communicate more. Okay. So they want her to be able to discuss the importance of communicating with all staff, because these are community employment goals for her. If she wants to work in the community, these are some things that she needs to learn how to do, because when she wants to talk to her bosses or managers about her tasks or what she needs help with. So then your action steps for this, she has 5 action steps. The first one is staff will review this objective with Jane. Next one will be discussed with Jane the importance of communicating with all staff, not just one individual. So that's the way she opens up her communication skills. Explain to Jane that all the staff here are here to assist her. Remind her that if she doesn't seek help for needs, wants, or concerns, others may not be able to assist her. So on and on. So I'm going to show you an achievement outcome form that'll show you this. But this is, so far you got the known and likely risks and the outcome experiences where you need to look for your doc sheets. Nicole, next page I need you is 22. Okay, this is your service and support lines. This is what was in the other ISPs. It was like on the second page, third page of the ISP. Okay, this is where you're going to find out how many hours a week you have with the individual, you know, what's the mileage, what's, you know, the schedule, your normal HPC services or your non-medical transportation services. So here she has non-medical transportation services. She has, this one's up to 50 miles per month NMT per mile for, I'm sorry. I'm doing a meeting.
Are you supposed to be with Regina Coughlin?
No, I'm in a meeting.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry. Sorry. Lost my thought. Just kidding.
Bernardi.
So let's, So inside the scope of the service is what you're doing with the individual. So Nicole, if we can go to the next page, because that's more HPC, I believe. Okay, here we go. Her homemaker personal care services. She receives HPC services and enhance her independent living skills, complete domestic tasks, cleaning, meal prep, and preparation. So these are also some of the things you're going to pull out and put on your documentation sheets. You're going to help the individual with meal prep, cleaning, taking them grocery shopping. Make sure you do a frequency and duration. How often are you going grocery shopping? One time a week as needed. So those will need to be on your documentation sheets. Assist this person with laundry, attending medical appointments. That would all need to be put on your documentation sheets if those are what you're doing with the individual. Make sure, because I have met with many providers where this information was in the ISP and they're going, well, I don't do that with this person. I don't do that with this person. Well, then the SSA needs to take that out if you're not doing that with the person, because when you have a compliance review, they're going to look at your documentation sheets and compare it to what's in the ISP. And they're going to like, why isn't medical appointments on your doc sheets? Well, I don't do that, but it's in your ISP. Make sure you explain to the SSA, because you should be part of that team meeting. Say, no, I don't do this for the person. You know, if you're not one that helps with the grocery shopping, say, no, the mom helps with grocery shopping. I don't do the grocery shopping. Okay. And unless maybe you're a backup for it and just put as needed. So again, in the service support area, that's also where you pull out. Like, see, she's also gonna access the community. So community activities you're gonna want to do. And then it's going to tell you how many units per week, normal schedule. Okay. All right, Nicole, can you go to the homemaker personal care doc sheets that I did up, please?
Yep. Give me a second here.
Kim, I think there is at least one provider in here who is an Ohio shared living provider. So just in general, is there any difference in documenting?
The only thing with Ohio shared living provider, yeah, the only thing different with Ohio shared living providers, you don't have to do a frequency and duration. You don't have to write a frequency and duration down on your doc sheets. If you're a regular HPC, you have to put frequency and duration. Grocery shop one time a week as needed. Okay. If you're Ohio shared living, you just put grocery shopping. That's pretty much the only difference.
Thank you.
And if you're an Ohio shared living provider and you're a parent, when you're doing these ISPs with the SSAs, you don't have to put everything in the ISP of what you do with the individual, because obviously they live with you and you're doing everything. So tell them to bulk it, or else you're going to have pages of doc sheets. Just, you know. No, do you have the one that I typed up?
The HPC one or the achievement outcome one?
The HPC one that I typed up.
One second.
She's fired, just saying. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I've got like 15 documents I'm looking at
I'm
here.
just kidding.
It should say example.
Yeah, remember I typed up a sample?
I've got one.
You have it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I if she can't find
Okay.
it,
Here we go.
oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Is this
Where are
it?
you? Oh, there it is. Perfect.
Yep, that's it.
Can everybody see that, or do you need to make that bigger, Nicole? I think you need to make it bigger because I can't see it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So this is what your documentation sheet looks like. You don't have to have the same documentation sheet, but if you want it, we can email it to you, because you can save it on your computer and type in it and it expands. Okay. But you have to have everything that's on here correct. You have to have the individual's name, their address, the Medicaid number. You don't have to have the resident number. You need to have your provider name, your provider number, the service month, service year. You know, once you type up your doc sheets, if the ISP doesn't change, your doc sheets aren't going to change. So you can type it in your computer and save it, and every month just print one off. Okay.
And where it says provider number, that is your contract number.
your DODD contract number,
Right.
not your NPI number, not your Medicaid number, your DODD contract number, the one that you use for billing.
Yes.
Okay. Your time in, your time out, total units for the day. Okay. So now we were looking at ISP. Here's some of the stuff I typed in here. Follow diet orders and guidelines daily as needed. Okay. Exercise, fine motor and physical per PT recommendations daily as needed. Now, maybe it's not daily. Maybe the physical therapist wants it twice a week. So you put 2 times a week as needed is how much time it takes you to do it. But you're doing it at least 2 times a week with this individual. Okay. Meet your frequencies. Maintain hygiene daily as needed. That was all in her support outcomes and in her service summary line item. Plan and prepare meals 3 times a week as needed. Assist with budgeting, assist with money and budgeting 3 times a week as needed. Okay. Maybe it's only twice a week. So whatever you're doing with that individual, if you're only working a couple days a week, then maybe only 1 time a week you're planning and preparing meals. So just put 1 time a week. Because sometimes people, the individual decides, oh, I don't want to do it today. So don't over put yourself in there. Don't overly, if you're only working 2 times a week, don't necessarily put 2 times a week, put maybe 1 time a week. Okay. If somebody's sick or they refuse, just put an R or put S for sick if you didn't meet the frequency and duration. So this one's also remind to maintain posture guidelines, assist with medical appointments. So this is all what I pulled out of that ISP, most of it. I should have did a different ISP. This one has too many because it's a 24/7 site, but this is just the idea. Medical appointments as scheduled as needed. Assist with domestic tasks daily as needed. Access to community 2 times a week as needed. Or you can put as scheduled because maybe they have an outing that's scheduled. Nicole, can we put up the achievement outcome form now, please? The one that's filled out that you printed for me today. Make it a little bigger. Okay, perfect. Okay, this was the achievement outcome I showed you guys in the ISP. Strengthen communication to make needs known. That's the description desired outcome. Okay, so step 1 is review objectives. So I didn't put all the wording in there, just the gist of it. So it's review objectives. Okay, verbal prompts, independent gestural prompts, physical prompts. This one is program duration frequencies 3 times a week that this day program needs to work on this with her. Okay. Doesn't mean they're not working on it any other time, but you only have to document it 3 times a week. Okay. Second step was discuss importance of communicating with staff. The third one was remind that staff can assist. So you remind the individual, hey, staff can assist you. There's more staff than just me. Remind that it's important to listen to directions because that was in her achievement outcome, and positively acknowledge if she chooses to communicate. That's the achievement outcome. That's how it should look. Again, we have these forms too. You can make up your own as long as it's similar. It has what needs to be on there. So that's
and then
where
if you have more than one achievement outcome, you're going to need more than one sheet.
Correct. They're all on separate pages. The achievement outcomes are on separate pages. All right. So that's in your outcome and experiences category page in the ISP. You may not have one, so you don't have to worry about this form. Okay. So that's kind of, I just wanted to show everybody where in this new ISP that you're pulling information from for your documentation sheets. And also where in the ISP you're going to find your units, your NMT transportation, your HPC transportation miles, that's under the service and some support summary. So, does anybody have questions or want to see any other documentation sheets? Because we have NMT sheets, weekly inspection sheets, HPC transportation sheets, and if you need any of these, we can send them to you. And like I said, they're all typable.
They're typable, and then they have notes sections with them. So if there's something that goes on in a particular shift that you want to notate, feel free to put that on the sheet as well, because you
Yeah,
can
it's on the
always do that in
back of the
notes.
sheet.
Mhm.
Yes, thanks, Courtney. Yeah, on the back of the sheet, there's notes. You know, so-and-so was sick this week, so we didn't do A, B, and C. Okay, so there's notes, there's a place to write notes on the back of the sheets. Like I said, whenever you have a provider compliance review, they're gonna look at your ISP and they're gonna look at your doc sheets. Your doc sheets need to match the ISP. And again, if there's something you're not doing in there and the SSA put it in there, please have a talk with them and tell them, please get that out of there. Okay. Do we have questions?
And I will send, again, as a follow-up, I will send the blank like template deck sheets to everybody for everything that I have here.
I think I gave them all to you before. If not, I have
Yeah.
some more to send to you.
I have them here. There might be
Okay.
a couple other ones. What did somebody put in the chat? ASP sheets.
ASP, Adult Services Program. Is that it?
Yeah, I can you clarify, Jessica?
Yes.
You can just talk if you'd like.
Yes, feel free to unmute yourself. If you have any questions. Which one is that, Kim?
Which one's what?
What am I
Oh,
looking
you
for?
don't
No,
have
Mike. Okay, go
I
ahead.
don't have that one.
If you want to type. Which one, Nicole?
So if I hit it.
I don't have anything titled ASP.
Are you talking about the shared living paperwork? Doc sheet?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll have her send it to you.
that I have.
It looks, okay, it looks just like the homemaker personal care
Yeah.
waiver sheet, but it says shared living documentation, so I'll have her send it to you. Does that work? It's an identical form to the one we showed you.
It looks
There it is.
just like this.
Yes. But forget, it says frequency and duration or duration frequency. You don't have to do that. Just put in what you're doing with doing with your son, whatever's in the ISP. Does that help? Perfect. Got a smiley with hard eyes. No, I'm just kidding. So is this helpful? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And anytime anybody's going to have a provider compliance review, I'm informed by the state, and I reach out to the providers. I'll email you and say, would you like to meet with me? And I can go over all the ISP and all the doc sheets with you and all your trainings and make sure that you're all set for the compliance review. So if you get that email from me and you want to take me up on that, we'll schedule a time to meet.
Can
I
I
know
ask
I've
a
met with
quick-
many.
Can I
I'm
ask a
sorry.
quick question?
Sure.
When you're doing the documentation and if you deliver services other than the client's home, do you still have to list that?
No. No,
I mean,
just
generally
no.
you have to put wherever the services were delivered. So if you were out in the community, do you need to list that instead of being at home, we were at the library or we were at the
Well,
grocery store?
that's just a community outing. You just check off, you
Okay.
took them to community outing. Yeah,
Okay.
you
all
only
right,
have to check these boxes, okay?
Okay.
So say you took them on a community outing on the 6th and the 17th of the month, you just check mark those boxes. Okay, because I
Okay,
have
all
like
right.
in this sheet, I have community outings. You just check mark the days you took them. If you want to write on back where on the notes where you took them, you can do that. You can say, hey, we went,
Okay,
we went to the library on such and such day.
okay,
Okay.
all right, good.
You don't
Thank
have to
you.
like do notebooks full of notes.
Do notebook. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Does anybody else have any other questions? And let me know if this was helpful. I just know it's a different ISP. I just want everybody to know where you get your information from. If you're still a little confused or whatnot, you can meet with me, just email me and we'll schedule a time. Hi, Regina. You have a question?
You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. There you go.
I was just able to sign in now because I was having trouble. So I
Okay.
missed everything, apparently.
We
Um,
recorded the meeting today, Regina. So once I can
Okay.
get that downloaded, I will send you the
You-
link for that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
No
Yeah,
problem.
and Regina, if you ever need to meet with me, just email me, after
Okay.
you see it, the training, and I'll be more than happy to do that.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
Yep.
We want to make sure, everybody succeeds.
Yeah, we don't need a compliance issue.
Right, right. So, okay, well, that's what I have. If you have questions, feel free to ask. This is your time. Will you send the link with the recording to everyone? Are you going to do
Yes,
that?
I can. Yep, I can do
Yes.
that.
Okay. So it's just a quick down and dirty with the new Ohio ISP coming out. Okay.
And please,
I'm
if
done.
there's like additional things that you feel like you need information on, trainings, anything, please reach out to me and let me know. Always open to suggestions and getting feedback because we want to be providing what is the most helpful to you.
Yes, Courtney and I love doing trainings. Just kidding.
So the new documentation sheets are, we're supposed to start them with the ISP, like with the.
They're
start
not
date?
new documentation sheets, whatever you've been using. I just wanted to show you, these are simple documentation sheets. I don't know what you're using right now, Sue, but we needed to show you the new ISP on where to go to pull your documentation from, the different
Okay,
areas, because it's a lot different than the old ISPs.
okay.
So I just wanted to navigate the new ISP. So if you're already documenting the right way, and you're good. This is just some people aren't going to know how to find what's in the Ohio ISP and where to get it from. So I was just showing those sections of where they're at now compared to where they're at in the old ISP.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep, thank you.
And if you want to, you're not sure if you're doing documentation correctly, you can also email me your documentation. I can look at it. Because I have access to all the ISPs.
Okay,
Okay, does that
Very
work?
yep, thank you.
Okay.
Kim, may I ask a question, please?
Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
You're silly. If we have an ISP that doesn't expire till May, that one's still good till May?
That is correct.
Okay,
Yes.
that's all I
These
need
are
to
all
know.
transitioning. Okay. DODD gave every county board an end date to start transferring over to the Ohio ISP. So we're doing, anytime there's another new annual meeting is when they're switching over to the new Ohio ISP. So
Okay.
some are already there, some have not, because we started in April. So any April span dates have already been changed over.
Yeah, mine won't be expiring till May.
Right, of next year, yes, because May,
Correct.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Maybe we started in July span dates, but they started the meetings in April. Yes, so next year you'll switch over to the new Ohio ISP.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so some have switched already, some have not. They're not doing it, they're just waiting till the new annuals. The
Okay,
new
thank
span.
Okay. And the ISPs are only available through email? We're not getting any more like by mail? So I used to get it by mail and then put it in my folder. So I
Well,
print
You should print it out. Yes. And I
Okay.
guess you have like, if you get that email, I guess you have 7 days to go on that link and print it out, or the link disappears. And
Oh,
then Sharon can resend it. But yes, they're emailing them right now unless you absolutely need it mailed.
Okay.
But again,
So-
some people forget that link, we didn't know right away, but that link disappears on y'all.
So if we just have to ask for it again, if we miss downloading
Yes.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
open up, download it.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's what I have, other than I'm having a training on September 22nd, has nothing to do with ISPs, but if anybody's interested, I'm doing a training on Social Security and Medicaid benefits for individuals with disabilities from noon to 3:30 here. Sorry, Nicole, I think that was your job.
Thanks for doing my plug.
You're very
That's
welcome.
great. You're doing a great job.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll hand it to Nicole.
Nope, that's it. That's all I have. Yeah, please reach out if you have any questions. Kim, Courtney would be more than happy to meet with you one-on-one. I'm just volunteering you guys up, but no, I know you guys do a great job. So,
That's it.
yeah, please reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, we're all set for today. Have a great rest of the day, and I will send out the recording when I have it, and the doc sheets.
Finished. Okay. All right.
Have
Thank
a
you
great
so
day,
much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Getting married on the 23rd. Well, congratulations.